Will Biafra come?
It will come. I mean, Nigeria is going to break up. Nobody can do anything about it. Nobody.
Why are you so certain about it?
Because I know it will happen.
Do you think there should be Biafra?
Of course.
Did the Igbos miscalculate at some point in the history of Nigeria?
No. Well, as far as the war was concerned, it wasn't miscalculation. Though the war was not necessary. They shouldn't have gone to war. But they were provoked. Igbos had no choice but to go to the war. They had no choice other than to fight to defend it, to defend humanity. I supported Ojukwu 1000%. They were pushed to the wall. They had to fight. They had to create their own country by fire, by force. Why did I go and visit my Usegu's mother? Why did you go? Why did I go to the east for my honeymoon? Why did I go to Lagos or go to somewhere else to do my honeymoon after marriage?
You went to the house of Chinua Achebe?
Yeah, I went to Chinua Achebe in Nsukka University. I spent a night there. I went to Mercy, the author, what's his name now? It was president of youth movement. He lived somewhere close to Enugu. You know, I went to see him and spent a night there.
Will Biafra come?
It will come. I mean, Nigeria is going to break up. Nobody can do anything about it. Nobody.
Why are you so certain about it?
Because I know it will happen. No country operated the way Nigeria has been operated can survive. It's not possible. All the rogues who are running the country down, who are doing all sorts of things they are doing now, will pass away. They will not be there forever.
Will Biafra come? Of course, it will come. Nobody is going to stop that. Nigeria is going to break up. Oh yes. And so shall it be. He say. Now, there is this popular saying that for the fact that it didn't happen in 1966, for the fact that it didn't happen in 1970, or it didn't happen in 2024, or it didn't happen in 2025, which is still possible that it's going to happen because we still have time in 2025. Even for the fact, even if it doesn't happen in 2025, it still does not mean that it's not going to happen in 2026 or 2027. Oh yes, that is the meaning of that proverb. But it will certainly happen. Oh yes, and to worsen the case, the government of the day is persecuting and marginalizing the people of Biafra. So tell me why the cause of Biafra will not be raised. No, tell me the reason. People that you have, dealt with until date, you are still dealing with them. Tell me why they wouldn't feel marginalized. Tell me why they wouldn't call for the state of Biafra. Tell me why. Anyways, in this video, I beg you to spend a little time and listen to our daddy and hear what he said, because this man was one of the people that fought Biafrans. Yes, he fought for Nigerian soldiers. Oh yes, they fought for Nigerian soldiers, and they are here to tell us their experience, what they feel, and how they thought it might have been better. So please, I want to beg you to spend a little time and listen to him. Then you do well to drop your comment in the comment section what you think, because I tell you, please watch it.
I have over 10,000 pictures
of the war.
Nobody else has it. Nobody. And I allow them to use it. If they want to use it.
Sometimes when I'm reading the book, I spend more time on the pictures.
Yes, that's it.
I spend more time on the pictures.
You know why? Because the story in the book was too good to be true. If the pictures were not there, nobody would believe the book. It was like going to capture Ububra. Nobody died, and I captured the whole state. How did you do that? The picture proved it.
On page 148, there's this picture there.
Okay.
148. A 50-foot long snake swallowed a soldier.
Okay.
We killed the snake with the soldier still inside.
Yes.
That scene.
All right. I got there. I was 27 years old. And I was afraid. But as the officer, I couldn't run away. shoot the bastard, kill the snake. They said, we've been shooting all day. One said, I finished my magazine, the snake no die, oh.
By this time, the snake had swallowed the soldier.
They would strike.
It wasn't moving.
They couldn't move. Because the soldier's head was already, only the boots were outside. And what happened? They fired and the snake did not die. So then I said, all right. You want the snake to die? Everyone say, yes, sir. Take my grenade, touch my head. I was just boasting. They touched my head with the grenade, throw the grenade. And the snake went into pieces.
Oh, the soldier was gone.
It was already gone now when the snake swallowed. The snake will first of all strike before swallowing.
So it means Nigerian troops were fighting in rough terrains.
It was I wrote in this book that we were not just fighting Biafra. We were fighting the mangrove forest, the topography. We were fighting the mangrove forest. You saw the pictures. We even killed an elephant. There is an elephant here.
Yes, I saw
the second was a female. And I told them not to kill that one, to let that one go. Oh yeah. The snakes in the water, the mud. The pictures here showed what we went through in Marine Commando. In 1 division and 2 division, I mean, driving from Benin to Asaba, where was the problem they had? Or driving from Kaduna or going to Enugu to Umaya. What was the problem on the way?
You spent most of your time during the war
fighting the elements. It was raining every day. The pictures are here.
You were in the 3rd Marine Commando.
In 3 Marine Commando, I couldn't see you. You're about 10 meters from me. I couldn't see you.
Adekunle was the commander.
Adekunle was our commander. Was the GOC.
And the story of the war from that end sometimes can be scary.
Of course it is. Because so my soldiers, I lost 8 soldiers in the Scorpion strategy, the advance to Port Harcourt from Calabar. When they saw the expanse of water linking the Cross River to the Atlantic, they panicked. That was the first canoe, and that was why he died. About this officer, I want to mention his name, General Daramola, SF Daramola. He died about 2 months ago. May he rest in peace. He became the commander of the depot at the training depot at Abeokuta. And we said what was most important to us was that they must let the soldiers in training to go and see expanse of water in Lagos before bringing them to the war front. People panicked. We were in the middle of the ocean. They panicked. And that's why I lost those 8 people in that canoe.
Point you make in this book is that Biafra ought not to have invaded the Midwest.
It's something that I have to draw a map for you to see. It was the greatest blunder of Biafra, and that's why they failed. Biafra escalated the war. There was no reason to have attacked Midwest. Now, the Midwest will have been their point of information. Agbo people will say, the northern soldiers don't reach you, they are coming, and you are ready for them. They did not have any good reason to cross River Niger.
Alexander Madiebo was the GOC of the Biafran army.
Good.
During the war.
True.
He wrote a foreword for your book.
He did.
That is foreword 4.
Yes. Foreword 5, I think.
Foreword 5, rather.
Okay.
Foreword 5. He says in the foreword,
okay,
for instance, the author, that is you,
yeah,
may not have known that the Midwest Biafran offensive was personal to Colonel Victor Banjo,
okay,
using scantily armed militiamen,
yes,
and kept a secret from the Biafran army commander.
Yes.
He says, moreover, the author could not have known that Colonel Banjo had deceived General Ojukwu into authorizing him to undertake the operation to capture Lagos through Benin and Ibadan. What do you have to say?
Again, I told you, I never met Victor Banjo as a senior officer, as an infantry officer. He was even not an infantry officer.
He was of the engineering
I was told
corps.
he was an engineer, okay. But probably he was interested in liberating the West, or whatever was his interest, I didn't know. But that tactics of attacking one man was a wrong tactics in any book, in any language. Because all he would have done, even if they wanted to do that, go to your aim. And when you get there, in the morning at 6 a.m., somebody will knock at the door and salute, sir. They say, make I bring you to Enugu. Who are you? And I will see Biafra uniform. They even went to Warri. They went to, you don't need all that. You go to your aim. If you go to your aim, you know, in the army, aim is in anything in life, as a matter of fact, the aim is very important. Let me give you some examples of the importance of aim. Let us say today that we're in Ibadan and they said, let us go capture Lagos. Why do we want to capture Lagos? And you say, oh, we want to collect tax. They have a lot of money. And since we have good soldiers, let's go capture Lagos and collect tax from them. If you arrive at the Bar Beach with your troops, you have won the war, or you have won the battle, but you lost the war. The aim was to collect tax. Arriving at the Bar Beach, everybody will have been refugee towards Seme border or towards Benin. So who are you going to collect tax from? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you lost the aim. Your strategy and tactics will have been, by the time you arrive at Abeokuta, you want some troops will go to Seme, some troops will go to Ore or somewhere, and some will stay at Shagamu Junction. And then you have food, you have water, you even have milk for children. As soon as the refugees arrive, you start to give them water, you start to give them, to look after them. And then they will say, these are the people they say they want to capture us. These are good people. Then you will tell them to go back. You cannot be a refugee in your own country. It happened here. I wrote in my book. We told the refugees, go back to your villages. 3 Marine Commando never had a refugee camp. We had no even prisoners camp. Prisoner of war, the Biafrans that we captured, we put them back in Marine Commando. So, in that case, you give them water, you look after their children, you play with their people, and then they will go back. The objective remains Lagos, but the aim was to collect tax. And you can only collect tax from people that believe in you and loyal to you.
So they missed the aim of that movement.
That's it. In the same objective, Lagos still objective. Ibadan, we were going to capture Lagos. Why? We want to occupy their houses, and they have good buildings, and we are living in mud houses. If you arrive at the Bar Beach and they run away, that's what we're looking for. We will occupy their buildings. The objective remains the same, which is Lagos, but the aim is not the same. So if you stick to your aim, you were looking for Biafra. Why were you looking for Biafra? For our survival. Why will you cross River Niger? Whether Banjo, this must be an afterthought. Whether Banjo crossed on his own, or how could Banjo carry Biafran troops, will carry, what do you call them in Biafra at that time?
The point Madiebo even makes in his book.
Yes.
In this book.
Yes.
This is Alexander Madiebo's book. His own account of the war.
Okay.
So the point he makes here,
Okay.
yes, Ojukwu knew about the crossing.
Okay.
But he also makes that point that Ojukwu was deceived about the crossing.
How could Ojukwu, me as commander-in-chief of my army, you took my troops, you took my vehicles, you took my money, you took my food. The commander-in-chief must have been an idiot.
Now, from other accounts, the aim was capture Lagos.
If that was the aim, go
straight
That's
to
all.
Lagos.
That's the point I am making.
But Banjo stopped in Benin.
He couldn't have gone to Lagos because I had killed the point unit at Asaba and the point unit at Agbo. So they were cautious. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Therefore, they did not know where next I put an ambush.
But they eventually got to Ore.
Okay, when they got to Ore, at that time, it was daybreak. Everybody was waiting. I had already telephoned everybody. The only person that did not react well was Obasanjo. Because when I called, he said he had no equipment. He had nothing to use to blow Oluwa Bridge. If you blow the bridge, they would not be able to cross. They are coming in full force.
You wanted him to blow the bridge?
Yes, to blow the bridge at Oluwa River.
Who did you call again?
And then I called the governor when Obasanjo said he had no equipment. So I called the governor.
Adebayo?
Adebayo. Because Adebayo was even like my mentor. He was the only black person, the only African amongst the European that interviewed me as a cadet. And the Europeans were saying, well, the man, whether they forgot or whatever, they were still interviewing me. I sat down there and they look at each other. They said, wait a minute. This man has answered all the questions well. This young man, he is too small. And Adebayo said, oh, he will grow, he will grow. And like all of us grew up, he will grow. That he answered the questions well. Sports captain of Ibadan Boys High School. And he's been doing very well. And he answered the questions well. That was how I got to know Adebayo very well.
So when you called him...
And I called him and I told him what had happened. And all I wanted was I will continue to lay ambush. By the grace of God, I was alone. But all night I could lay ambush. So Adebayo then called the PWD people. The man's name was Akonde. They call him CS Akonde. They called the PWD people. Can you people blow the bridge at Oluwa before the Biafran people will come? They said yes. They had all the equipment. And they went. They blew the bridge. So by the time they got to Ore, the bridges had been blown. The Biafrans could not cross. And instead of going through Warri and go to Benin and go on, the order for Chukuka was to capture Warri, and he did. You didn't need Warri. You didn't need Eho. You needed Lagos. If he was an infantryman, he probably maybe do better. But Akaga, who was the commander of the troops, he came back with only his pants.
You were an infantry officer?
Yes. Yes.
You like guns? You like attacks?
Yes. First of all, in an infantry, you are taught how to defend your country by attacking others or by defending your country. All this. And I was instructor at the military school in Zaria. And I instructor at the tactics school, which was NMTC. So I read many books. At the shattered glass door, it killed them. Some were still crying, and one said Chineke and was running. I followed him with my machine gun. So I didn't let him escape, otherwise they would chase me. So
this is war.
Of course it is war. I had to fight now, and this time I was not fighting for Nigeria. I was fighting to survive.
And you survived?
Of course. So, and then here my driver came. Oga, they've killed all the houses, and all our officers and soldiers, they've joined Biafra, and I had shooting in your area. And I said I should come and check. Then I called the driver, just turn around, and we will go to Agbo. Because in the meantime, those were the point unit, we call them point unit in the army. They will go in front and make sure that things are going well. Just so, since I had knocked out the point unit, it delayed them because the plan of Biafra was to capture Benin at 12 midnight and to capture Lagos at 6 a.m. during the traffic. But you see, that was a wrong tactics. They didn't need to capture Alabi. Just go to your aim.
Straight to Lagos.
Go to your aim.
If they had gone straight to Lagos,
they will get to Lagos.
So what would have happened if they had gone straight to Lagos?
It depends on what they plan. And Bule, may he rest in peace, he was my classmate. I told him that I could capture Lagos with only 300 soldiers. Alabi, you're making mad. And I explained to him.
So they would have been able to capture Lagos?
Oh, easy.
Would you blame Victor Banjo for the delay?
I never met that man. I didn't even know him in the army. I never met him.
But you have read the story of that movement
I've just
from
read
Biafra.
Well, first of all, the tactics was wrong. Biafra escalated the war. There was what was called police action by Gawan's administration, just to make sure that the rebels would change and if you capture Ojukwu, okay, or that there will be no more war, or there will be no more fighting. It was a police action. But when they crossed the river Niger, and I had already informed them what was happening and so on, and I got to Agbo, their point unit came again. The story is in the book. I was making telephone calls to all the officers and to Lagos and to my mother. The telephone call just cut off. And when it cut off, I was blaming the police people. Who cut my phone? They say maybe P&T. The P&T was just next door. I took my jeep to go and see. The driver of the Biafran point unit was sitting in the vehicle while the rest went inside to go and cut the telephone lines. When I saw that, they had a 404 station wagon and had a Land Rover. And I knew if he chased me, he would catch up with me. So I just turned and I started running with my jeep. He caught up with me, of course. At that time, we were driving on the left, so the steering was on the right. His own was on the right. I look around, he was alone. How this private soldier will catch me, God, you know, you have to make a quick mental appreciation of what to do. I had to disable him and disable his vehicle. Otherwise, he will continue to chase me.
How did you do that?
So, as soon as he came out, I was still sitting, but I put my vehicle on the reverse so that I would throw my grenade to disable his vehicle and to kill him. So at that time, as soon as he moved from the driver's side, I was watching whether he had a grenade or he had SMG, which we call small machine gun. That was what he had. The fight was finished. I mean, how will this, well, in my mind, how will this private soldier holding an SMG capture me? So I threw the grenade in such a way that it killed him and disabled his vehicle. So those that caught the telephone line at the P&T had no vehicle to move. And the fight was already at 12 o'clock. So they did not capture Benin at 12 o'clock. They got to Benin at 6 a.m. I think they continued their advance. By the time I came out myself, they captured me at Agbo Junction.
Yes.
They captured me.
Will Biafra come?
It will come. I mean, Nigeria is going to break up. Nobody can do anything about it. Nobody.
Why are you so certain about it?
Because I know it will happen.
Do you think there should be Biafra?
Of course.
Did the Igbos miscalculate at some point in the history of Nigeria?
No. Well, as far as the war was concerned, it wasn't miscalculation. Though the war was not necessary, they shouldn't have gone to war. But they were provoked. Igbos had no choice but to go to the war. They had no choice other than to fight to defend it, to defend the humanity. I supported Ojukwu 1,000%. They were pushed to the wall. They had to fight. They had to create their own country by fire, by force. Why did I go and visit my Usegu's mother? Why did I go to the east for my honeymoon? Why did I go to Lagos or go to somewhere else to do my honeymoon after marriage?
You went to the house of Chinua Achebe?
Yeah, I went to Katsina State in Nsukka University. I spent a night there. I went to Mercy, the author, what's his name now? It was president of youth movement. He lived somewhere close to Enugu. You know, I went to see him. I spent a night there.
Will Biafra come?
It will come. I mean, Nigeria is going to break up. Nobody can do anything about it. Nobody.
Why are you so certain about it?
Because I know it will happen. No country operated the way Nigeria has been operated can survive. It's not possible. All the rogues who are running the country down, who are doing all sorts of things they are doing now, will pass away. They will not be there forever.
All right. So, what is your thought about it? Do well to drop your comment in the comment section, all right? Thank you very much. I'm going to see you in my next video. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you.